Man, you know a show is good when at the end credits you just are sitting there completely just paralyzed, can't even touch the remote, you just can't move a single inch because you're just taking in everything that you just witnessed. And this show had me doing that at least 5 or 6 times since the very, what I will describe as legendary Gambit episode 5, on to the last episode, and then maybe the first or second episode, one of the first 4 episodes, but those last 5 episodes all had me sitting at my screen completely shocked. Stunned, I could not move a single muscle, not even a little bit. X-Men 97, since the very first has completely proven to me that not only can Marvel actually still make great television or great entertainment, period, but that X-Men 97 might be one of the greatest cartoons in comic book history. Yeah. Off one season, it's competing. Maybe not Batman the Animated Series, that's goated. But X-Men 97 has came out swinging. And all I know is Marvel better get their shit together, because I know y'all, we know you can make good stuff now. So don't go back to that bullshit when we move on to this next phase. But look, we're going to talk about X-Men 97 because... Alright, we gotta get to it. X-Men 97. Let's get to the review. Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and look, this is my review of X-Men 97, starring a bunch of voice actors who we are not going to get into, but I will single-handedly praise each one of their characters, and whoever the voice actors are, I tip my entire fucking cap to you, because, wow. But, look, basically this is a reimagining, I want to say, or a continuation / reimagining of the very legendary X-Men, literally 1997 cartoon that came out in 1997, and basically we are following the story that they left off on, where basically Charles Xavier is off-world. The X-Men are trying to figure out how to continue to do their X-Men family things without Charles Xavier presumably dead, but then, you know, they find out that Magneto is now their new Charles Xavier, and it leads us down a path that completely had me hooked once I was introduced to what this story was actually was. But once you get into the gist of what this thing becomes, which throughout each episode just piece by layer just peels back something that completely blows your fucking mind before we even get to the middle of the fucking thing. And sorry for cussing so much, but wow. I know I don't cuss too much. I mean, maybe I do. I'm not necessarily sure. I definitely do. You know, not on camera, but you know, it is what it is. But look, this thing got me here. Where we went in this series completely took me by surprise, and I'm sure it took all of you as well if you've seen the series itself. This thing was serious. This is a comic book nerd's wet dream. This is a Saturday morning cartoon nerds. Well, I mean, you don't even have to be a nerd for. I mean, you don't have to be. I mean, geek out for Saturday morning cartoons. This is my Saturday morning. No, this is my Saturday morning cartoons reincarnated. This thing was everything I could have dreamed of, because I loved X-Men 97. X-Men 97 made me fall in love with so many characters that they necessarily didn't get to in the movies, but just so many different characters had me completely just head over heels for mutants. Made Gambit one of my favorite superheroes of all time, not just one of my favorite X-Men, but one of my favorite superheroes of all time, right next to Spider-Man. And so many other great team-ups. Wolverine was already a legend in the cartoon, and then Hugh Jackman ended up playing him, and he became even more of that. So Cyclops, which is way more respectable in the cartoons than in the movies, but you know, James Marsden did his thing. Regardless, this thing surpassed whatever my expectation. I don't even, like, now that I've seen the entire series itself, I don't know what my expectations were, and I'm sorry that I'm just going on a rant at this point, but this truly, I wish I was exaggerating, not necessarily, but I wish, or I wish I could, like, calm myself down a little more, but my energy, my expressions, everything I'm feeling while I'm talking about this series to you guys, I am just over the moon, because, like I said, I don't even know what my expectations were, but they were completely just blown up. Just threw them completely out of the room. Just did the whole SpongeBob running around, throwing the files out of the... my expectations were completely... Wow. X-Men 97. Like, it truly was something spectacular. Magnificent. Brought, like, that deserved... That cartoon there. This series, this season 1... deserves a standing ovation. I'm saying that because I just read the tweet about Furiosa getting a 7-minute standing ovation. I can't wait for that. This deserves one of those. This deserves a 7-minute standing ovation. like, honestly, it's like where to begin when I even talk about my review of what this series was, but I'll start with the story itself. Like I said, what this thing became, how we got just slowly... not slowly, but like on a good pace. It told so much of a broad story in 10 episodes, and yet it never felt like we missed anything. We missed a step. We were lost at any point in time. They slowly introduced us. I keep saying slowly, but they very gently just introduced us to what this story was, where we are going with it, and to give us so many great throwbacks to great characters and so many cameos. The glorious cameos. It was amazing. But the story itself, look, I was truly just shocked at how they were able to introduce Mr. Sinister and Bastion and Magneto, and just have all these Sentinels, and just so Trask, have so many villains in one season, and just make it feel like the story just flows so very well the entire time. It never feels out of control. It never feels like we're being thrown with too much. It always feels like it's just flowing naturally. And as you are along for this ride, you are just completely just going completely crazy, like you just rode the fucking Demonator. Oh my god. Like, it's incredible. This story was amazing. I loved, honestly, how this thing truly gave each and every X-Men the respect that they deserve. Like, it wasn't just focused on Wolverine. This wasn't just focused on Cyclops. It wasn't just focused on Jean. It wasn't just focused on Magneto. It was focused on everybody. Even Jubilee got some love. Like, which, I mean, out of all the episodes, yes, Jubilee's is on the back end, for sure. Her and Sunspot's, arc, it was nice. Sunspot's a little bit of a dickhead because he did go to the other side. So did Rogue, but I knew that was happening because of Gambit. She was loving Magneto, which was an amazing arc within itself. But the Sunspot, Jubilee arc was cool. I did like how he went to the other side. That was pretty dope. But him just going back and Jubilee forgiving, or whatever. I can talk about that later. Look, every X-Men got the respect that they deserved, and they truly took their time, thoroughly crafted how they were going to tell this story. The character arcs and their development throughout were impeccable. Absolutely. Like, I'm up here using fine arts words. Like, I'm here looking at a piece, like a piece of art, depicting it, analyzing it one by one. Like, this X-Men 97 truly blew my mind in every just aspect that goes into creating a TV show. X-Men 97 completely blew my mind. Forget the fact that it's animated and the animation is gorgeous. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. It's like harmonically blending the 97 style X-Men with new age technology, and it just looks gorgeous. It still looks like an old age cartoon, but in a newly refined tone, and it's gorgeous. It is absolutely mind-fuckingly gorgeous. It is amazing. I truly cannot believe just how incredible this thing was. Like I said, the story was absolutely phenomenal. But beyond that, these characters. Let me just talk about these characters. And I'm going to start with the person that I feel like stole the entire show every time he opened his goddamn mouth, Magneto. The person that voiced Magneto deserves some sort of award, some sort of achievement, some sort of something, acknowledgement, because I can't let that performance go under the radar. That was one of the best voice performances I've ever witnessed, heard, however you want to put it. Magneto deserves some sort of just praise, and I could look at the cast right here. I don't know why I'm acting like I can't. Who played Magneto? His name, Matthew Waterson? Yeah. Magneto stood on complete business. And honestly, I don't necessarily consider Magneto a villain, especially because they tell his point of view, his point of view so well, and his what motivates him, and honestly the position he's put in the beginning of this series to where he's put in at the end. I don't consider him a villain at all. His story was told so beautifully. Him and Charles always have a great dynamic. I mean, listen, like I said, this entire voice cast did amazing, and I'm trying to look at the other people that voiced acted, but I can go down the list as I talk. I want to say Cyclops. Like I said, this series and the series that came before it gave him the respect that he deserves. I'm not gonna lie. James Marsden, and I mean, look, Bryan Singer did great with those movies. James Marsden did great with what he was given, but Cyclops was a little bitch. If we're being completely honest, Cyclops was a little bitch in those movies. He is not that. He is this. He is what this series made him out to be: a well-born, true, natural leader. And so he just has hardships. And I loved him and Jean's arc. I loved him, Jean, and Cable's arc. I love the mom, dad, and son. The eyes thing at the finale. You have your dad's eyes. Gorgeous, heartbreaking, heart pounding. It was absolutely wonderful. And speaking of heartbreaking, Rogue. I loved how Rogue got the respect that she deserves, because you forget how powerful Rogue actually is due to the movies. The movies kind of, take her powers down because how wildly crazy they can get. But Rogue got to show her fucking ass out in the most respectful way possible. And it was incredible. I loved Rogue's arc in this story, her relationship with Gambit, her relationship with Magneto, the relationship within herself when things go fucking wrong. I loved it. Rogue was phenomenal. Whoever, Lenore Zahn, amazing. You want to talk about heartbreaking? Sugar, I can't feel you. I can't feel you, Sugar. It's just something special there. It's just truly something special there. Love, like I said, Jean's arc. Look, Wolverine. Although my man did not get as much screen time as he obviously does in the movies, Wolverine didn't have much to say, but he had plenty to do. And when he did have something to say, it was genius. Like, it was just classic Wolverine. You would say every time Wolverine spoke, it was just classic Wolverine. That's something Wolverine would say. Just every time. It was amazing. And then Morph, the new character, loved Morph. He was hilarious. Nightcrawler. Kurt Wagner. One of the greatest X-Men ever. Nightcrawler was awesome. It was just so much. Beast was great. It was just so much fun to spend time with these characters. Professor X, amazing. Come to me, my X-Men. I'm telling you, this is a comic book nerd's wet dream, and should be a superhero nerd's wet dream. If you love shit like this, you're a nerd. Just accept it wholeheartedly. We're nerds, and we're mutants, and it's okay. It's alright. It's fun to be a mutant. It's fun to be a nerd, because shit like this is what we live for, man. This right here is legendary stuff, man. Just absolutely from beginning to end, amazing. And shout out to Theo James, who played Bastion, because he was a phenomenal Theo James as Bastion. It was Theo James, right? If I'm not. Yes, it was Theo James that played Bastion, and he did a magnificent job. Every single person who did a voice casting in this thing was terrific. Just absolutely brilliant. Like, I can't, like, the voice acting in this, you felt every emotion, you felt every tension-filled moment. That was the thing. These episodes, and I'm talking about almost every single one of them, truly had huge stakes. That was the thing about this series. Like, you truly felt like at any moment, one of your favorite characters could completely be ripped out of your heart. Like that, every episode felt like that. You did not know what was going to happen. It was absolutely amazing. And yes, obviously, for people who heard me earlier say Gambit's one of my favorite X-Men, you understand that my heart was torn into a million little fucking pieces. But it was worth it. That pain was worth it because I got to witness one of the greatest, most legendary moments in Gambit history. And as far as I'm concerned, this is one of the greatest shows of this year, or not only this year, but this is one of the greatest shows of the decade thus far. You want to talk about a season 1 coming out swinging? This is better than season 1 of Invincible. I stand on that mountain. This is way better than season 1 of Invincible. This is, honestly, as far as superhero shows go, some of the best shit I've seen in my life. As far as TV shows goes, one of the best season 1s ever. Up there with the best of them. This truly was an experience. This was an event. And I can't wait for more seasons of this to come out because they're clearly building towards more grander stories. And it is absolutely going to be insane. The fight scenes I also need to talk about in this thing were crazy. The fight sequences in this show were, like I said, completely tension-filled and had you at the edge of your seat. You felt like you were watching cinematic events unfold right in front of you, but it is a 30 to 40 minute TV show, and it had me on the edge of my seat every week. Not only being in a nostalgic mood, just enjoying what I felt like were my Saturday morning cartoons reincarnated, like I said, but at the same time, you were watching a brand new story and just unfolding a experience unlike any other. That's the best way I can put it, because I was trying to find more crazy words to define that. Look at me trying to be so out of the box. But yeah, that's the best way I can sum this up, man. Just tell you my feelings on what I experienced, what I witnessed, how this story, that's the best way I can review this thing. Like, I can't go episode by episode. I just have to tell you. I just have to spread the word. Put it out there. That if you have not seen X-Men 97, or if you've been watching episodes and you decided to stop at one point, why? But go back and watch it again, because, like I said, this is one of the best season 1s I've seen in my life. X-Men 97 is one of them ones. It could possibly reach Batman the Animated Series territory, and that's one of the GOATs. It's in legendary status right now, but it could reach GOAT status by that season 2. And just go watch X-Men 97. I was going to say for all those reasons and so many more, but look, for all those reasons and so many more, X-Men 97 is absolute perfection. Now you need to go watch that immediately. No, 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 no.